What's up, cyberspace? Check out the PlayStation Cup. What the fuck is this? But what's up, Sinians? How's it going? This your boy, Crypto Bruh, aka More World Peace to DJ. Usually I make the music on the streams, but in this particular stream, I'm interviewing some homies. And we had to collaborate, and I don't have my OBS set up. So we jamming out to the AI music. So usually I say, what's up? This your boy Crypto Bruh slash More World Peace, the DJ and producer. But I guess this is 100% just Crypto Bruh because I didn't make the beats in the background. But today we are going to have a fun chat with XENIFY.io, which is it's not brand new, but to the Zen ecosystem, it might feel new to you. It's been out for a couple months now. I would say around 6 to 7 months in beta form, where it's an aggregated trading platform where they gather together a ton of different portals around the internet, around Web3, to give you the best price on DEX traded tokens, such as ERC20s and lots and lots of networks. But I wanted to bring them on the show today and pick their brain a little bit, see where they're coming from, see why they came to us, or if if they're one of us, I don't know, maybe they're one of us. But if not, see why they came to us and just kind of break down what is XENIFY and how you can use it. So without further ado, I don't really know who's in the chat. I know we're just starting up. We got to get this thing tweeted out. But I'm going to bring in my guy, Simran, and we got Day, two of the co-founders of XENIFY. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you for having us. Glad to be here.
Yeah, thanks for pulling up. Yeah, okay,
it's
cool.
Early,
okay,
but it's good.
Yeah, it's funny because, like I said, I'm on this different platform. I feel like a little bit out of my eco because, like, I'm always in YouTube. But I do see that somebody made a comment. So if you're in the chat, I can't see how many people are viewing this thing. Go ahead, throw your favorite emoji, say what's up. But I see you, Shaka Vibes, wiggity, wiggity, wiggity. Welcome to the chat, man. But Simran, Day, thank you guys for giving me your time today and answering some questions. We'll kind of just, have a friendly conversation, just like I said, just getting to know you guys and understanding the platform, because I think it was a pretty successful launch. Like, how do you guys feel? Your product officially came out on Arbitrum this past Friday. How are you guys feeling about XENIFY, and how do you feel like your launch went this week?
I think it went pretty well. I mean, there wasn't much hiccups except for some UI bugs. But overall, I think everything went quite smoothly.
Yeah, and from the reception as well, it has been, very successful in that sense too.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm asking this question because is this your guys' first time releasing a product, or have you done it before? Okay, this isn't. Okay.
Yeah. So the thing is, I initially launched YSL in 2021. So we actually were one of the first projects to actually partner with ApeSwap.
Okay. Well, ApeSwap isn't like a Bored Ape Yacht Club?
No, it's like an AEM. It's one of the largest DEXs on the Binance Smart Chain.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, yeah. I'm not too big on Binance, but I do remember seeing ApeSwap as like a competitor to PancakeSwap, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome.
So, yeah, I think it was a while back, and then you see, YSL was more of a yield farming protocol on liquidity protocol. It was more towards like where you could stake your cake or you could stake your tokens and earn like a reward token similar to cake and the banana token like for ApeSwap, and then you could take that and basically earn yield, which is created through lending those tokens out to cake and then using that cake to actually sell that and actually create liquidity for the underlying token. So there was a lot more game theory behind YSL at one point. You know, we created a ton of strategies, even parts where we would, like if a user gave us, let's say, USDC, we would borrow against it at a fair collateral level, create liquidity using Venus, which is one of the largest lending and borrowing protocols on
Oh yeah,
BNB
Venus.
chain. Yeah.
Awesome, man.
And
Damn,
then,
you guys are really in it.
yeah, so that's why we have a ton of experience when it comes to all of this. But the thing is, this was the first launch where we created a protocol that was entirely immutable. I mean, at that, you know, usually when you have protocols like that, usually there would be like, you know, upgradability and such because of the dependencies it has. And I think for us, you know, the hardest part was thinking out of the box, really, when it came to designing the architecture of the contracts. But yeah, I think we did it pretty well. I mean, now I think there's not many protocols out there that can, you know, create a liquidity pool by itself
That's
for
a fact.
mutables. Yeah,
That's something. Well, like I've been in crypto now since 2016. So a lot of my influence is kind of watching the birth, I like to say, of TLV and watching how different contracts attempted their own version, right? Of like how are we gonna collect TLV to be, you know, supporting all of the users coming to the platform, right? And that's why when I was listening to you guys in the spaces, one reason why I wanted to get you on the show today is because it seems like I don't know how to say this, but I guess I would say it very simply. It seems like you're really experienced in this DeFi Dex centralized world that I've only been able to kind of peek in on, right? Like I use Aave and I use Uniswap, but I don't really go under the hood to see exactly how it works. And when I was
yeah,
using Zenify, from I guess a user standpoint, I used the testnet a little bit, but I really wanted to go in and just get my hands dirty and see if it's something that, you know, someone comes in, they don't know what's going on, but they got a little bit of experience if they can get it going. And I won't lie, it was a little shaky. It took me maybe 20 minutes to get used to the UI and then figure out like how everything was working. But you know, that's what you do. You get over that hump, you learn exactly how the processes work, and then from there, you're cooking with butter, I like to say. So that's how I'm feeling now. I'm feeling like, yo, this is gonna be something I've never seen before. And what I really like is the hyper focus on the DEX and the aggregated system. And you just kind of broke it down to me. So coming from ApeSwap, that gave you a lot of experience working with different liquidity pools. Is that what you're kind of throwing out there?
I would say different protocols. Like
Okay.
we dealt with Venus, which is the lending and borrowing protocol of the Binance Smart Chain, ApeSwap. We have partners with 1inch, Paraswap, Squid, quite a lot of aggregators, LiFi.
Lifa, yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is,
Okay. Yeah, at least.
before all this happened, I actually got involved in crypto in 2016. So this was right before the ICO craze of 2017. This was when you could see Ethereum like in, you know, below $10, and it was trading. I think there was only 2 pairs at the time, if I'm not mistaken, on Coinbase, where you could actually buy Ethereum with your credit card. And
They had like Bitcoin Cash only. It was like Bitcoin Cash,
no, yeah,
Bitcoin, and like Ethereum.
yeah, no, there was no cash at that time. This was before Bitcoin
Oh, there was no.
Cash. Yeah,
Damn. All right. Damn, you're
yeah,
hella seasoned then. I was like looking at crypto in 2016. I didn't really get in until everything was going up in 17, and of
yeah,
course the story goes how the
yeah.
story goes.
I actually got involved with Z Classic. So when
Oh, damn.
yeah, Zcash, when I got involved in crypto, Zcash was the hype. All right, everyone was going after privacy coins, and I realized that Z Classic was like a fork of Zcash. So then I started getting involved, right? Going into their Discord. Actually, at that time, I think it was Slack. There was no Telegram or even Discord. That at that moment of time, everything was on Slack. And that's when I started getting involved with the community because, Z Classic is a community token. There's no company or such. It's purely driven by the community at that time. And I got involved with, you could say, the community, and then after that, the community decided that let's fork Z Classic into Zencash, and that's how Zencash got formed. Right? It was formed by a few community members, and we kind of like helped grow that part out. And
That's awesome. Damn,
yeah, yeah.
that's like
But then,
yeah, you're pretty deep in the game, man. I didn't know you were like tapping in with some of the original coins that people like to just think of as 10,000 X's. It sounds like you were in the. I mean, being in the Slack is pretty close to the creation of everything.
but yeah, then I would say I left at that point because the ICO craze came in, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna now, because I wasn't able to concentrate on two things at the same time. So I decided that I wanted to more focus towards the investing side of things, and that's when Zencash kind of rebranded into Horizon, and now they're more of like I think like a layer 2, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't really checked, but I think they were a top 100 token now, but it took some time,
Yeah, definitely.
they
I
changed
mean,
their
and then
directions.
yeah, and then that's what's brought you into going into like BNB and Ape Swap from just being in the Zcash community, and after it kind of fizzled, you were looking at that community, or
Yeah, then
how'd you end up on BNB?
yeah, so from there I actually got in the ICO craze. Then I invested in a few projects. Then I got involved with another community that you could say was a part of the YSL community today, because what happened was I invested, let's say, in a project which is also known or was known as Remy at that time. I think it was 2018. And then that branched off to Peanut, and a lot of the community members at that time, they were kind of like, they were basically in a way where they were down on their investment, and I wanted to bring something that was unique. At that time, I think everything was blowing off on DeFi, right? I think it was like V1 of DeFi. Chainlink was going up. We had the food tokens, pizza, all those.
Damn, when we had socks.
Yeah, yeah.
The socks token, geez, PTSD right there for me.
So
it reminds me, like,
so
that was that was a golden time though in DeFi.
Yeah.
Throw a token name out there, we'll create a liquidity pool and a bunch of pools, and pray to God that it works, right?
Yeah. So that's how YSL was born. So YSL was born during that time period. Like, the word YSL basically means yield, staking, liquidity. So that's what we were trying to focus on, those three elements when we built YSL. So it was more of like, we wanted to do something, because all these meme tokens were just like, like, it was pumping. Yes, they had a ton of TVL, like 100 million at that time, but there was no true value. It was just being minted, and people were just going crazy over it, right? So we decided, like, why not us make some sort of game theory that is better than cake, let's say, or better than banana, but have it in a way where the liquidity is locked. So I would say we could have been one of the first projects that created the idea of locked liquidity, but we wanted it to put in a different sort of way, where the user lends us his cake, let's just say. So if you have cake, right, and you lend it to us, we will now lend it to Pancake, and then Pancake obviously gives you a yield back, right, on that cake. So that cake
Mhm.
that gets given out is basically sold into like you could say BNB, right? And paired with our token. And then that creates liquidity by the protocol. And then you're given back our reward token, which you can eventually sell into that liquidity if you choose to do so. And then the price, the yield that you earn on that would be far greater than what you would earn on cake. So we did come up with some sort of game theory behind it. But the only thing that went wrong, I would say, is that the bear market hit by the time we could release, and it just didn't gain the traction it could have gained if it was to launch maybe a few months earlier.
Yeah, I mean, you said you launched it, and this is like 2018, 19, right?
No. This was launched in 2021, end of 2021. So the beginning of 2021 is when we start building it, and then at the end of 2021 it's launched. But by that time, Bitcoin started crashing in 2022.
Yeah,
So,
that was a true rug fact from that 69 way back down to I forget where we went. It's like 15,000 or something.
yeah.
So
That was more of like, we were like, oh shit, like the protocol itself is like really, like, it works, it's good, people were using it, but you couldn't get the traction you want because you're just trying to deliver something and everyone is down like nearly 50% on their investment. So
yeah,
people were looking more towards real life assets, which I don't understand why at that time, because like they're trying to, like I still remember there was a project that released and they said that, oh, you can buy our NFTs, right? And we'll use these funds and we'll buy a restaurant in we'll buy restaurants with that money and we'll bring you real revenue from outside, right? Which is obviously not DeFi. And at the same time,
yeah,
that project just, they gained the cash, but they just went bust.
yeah, man. I mean, that's the narrative or the meme narrative part of crypto that is I feel like it's going to be forever here. One thing you said was you were here when Chainlink happened, right? And for me, Chainlink was a fortune token when I first started crypto. Like that's kind of where I got exposure to it, was people memeing Chainlink
Just
on fortune.
imagine, just imagine this. I was here when Binance did their ICO, their pre-sale. I just didn't invest at that time.
Yeah.
That was it.
Damn. So like so is all of this is what's gotten you to XENIFY today. Like what spawned XENIFY from all this this experience that you've had?
So XENIFY was actually born because of that fact, which I just mentioned, right? So in around, I would say 2022 to 2023, we were in that narrative that we needed to find a way on how we could bring true utility, right, to YSL.io, because that time it was YSL.io, right? And we wanted it not to be like how I just mentioned, right? Like, oh, okay, if you put money in, we're gonna invest it outside into, this type of business and that type of business, because that don't work, right? You're putting too much trust in the team, right, to handle your funds in a way which is appropriate, right, where it should be done by the protocol itself. So then we kind of looked into, okay, I see, because what amazed me was that 1inch was doing like insane volume. Insane. They do like insane volume. Paraswap, 1inch, all these big aggregators. Most people think, oh, why would I use an aggregator, right, when I can use Uniswap? But people do it, right, because it gets you the best price, regardless of the fees that they charge. And
I mean, that was me too, dude. Once 1inch came out, I ditched Uniswap like literally the day after, and Man, I miss 1inch though, because it's I used to use a VPN to use 1inch in New York City.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, aggregators are powerful beasts, bro. That's why I'm glad it exists in the Zen world.
The thing is, they're doing like, if I'm not mistaken, they're doing like over 2 billion in volume a month. And they get fees of maybe a 0.5% similar to us, if you choose to pay that fee. But they enforce it. In other words, we don't enforce any fees. We make it as an option, and only if you participate on a chain where Zenify is deployed, which is Arbitrum at the moment. So you have that option whether to pay that fee or you don't want to pay the fee. So that's kind of an advantage that we have in that sense. And then we aggregate the aggregators, which means we visually show the best routes you could get from all the aggregators, from almost, I think, 60 of them across 54 chains. And there's one thing that you might not know, and I think many Zenians might not know, is that we have integrated, you could say, Unisat and a few Bitcoin wallet providers, which kind of makes the process of going from Bitcoin to EVM, the EVM world, pretty simple and straightforward and cheap, and within one click, just by connecting your Unisat wallet.
Yeah, I got to do a deep dive stream on all of the networks you provide, because I recently saw that too, that it supported Unistat wallet.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. I wonder what this could boil up to. I mean, knowing that if you a Xenian out there, if you got the VMPX, you're already setting yourself up for success because it's on both sides. Now, other BRC20s, I don't fucking know, but I do know VMPX is on both sides. So, yeah, have you ever tested your bridge from ETH to Bitcoin, like with anything like that, or is it just more aggregated via the system if it's available?
Think of it this way, right? We have multiple aggregators that offer this service, right? Like ChangeNow. ChangeNow is like our partners, right? And we have other partners like StealthX. We have, different providers that offer different, you could say, swaps, right? From non-EVM chains. So ChangeNow has that option where you can go from Bitcoin to any EVM chain, right? For us, what we kind of benefit in is that, one, we don't charge a fee, and two, you can visually see which aggregator would be the best pricing when you exit from Bitcoin to, let's say, ETH, right? And you can just simply connect your Unisat wallet and just perform a swap. It's as simple as that. And you don't have to.
Oh, okay. That's more simple for sure. Yeah, do Bitcoin to Ethereum, that type of cross-chain interoperability, so that you can be on both networks.
Correct.
That makes a lot of sense, rather than like a BRC20. That's what I would say. Maybe not BRC20 just yet, because that's a different ballpark. But from Bitcoin to Ethereum, that's what I could see definitely swapped on Zenify. I'm a fan, man. Like, I've been using Zenify because I won't lie. Here, I'm gonna give you a little bit of scoop on this, because I hated Zen when I first heard the name, and then after I researched on it, I became a Zenian after learning and research. When you guys came on the scene, I was like, oh, Zenify, that's like Spotify. Like, what is this really? Like, it's got a good name, it's got a good look to it, but this is too looking good. Let me, and I think it's a smart rollout how you guys did the beta, so that we could test it and really, gain some. I would say we've gained respect for Zenify as a community, versus the idea of like, oh, this is just a platform that put Zen branding on it, right?
Yeah, the name actually was born from the way where we say Zenify means to unify. We wanted to unify both communities, which is the Zen community and the YSL community, as one.
And the Sunburns.
Yeah, and the Zen burns. Like basically everything, that the way we've built the protocol is to be, you could say, as equal as it could be, basically. That means it doesn't,
Mhm.
yeah. If you burn like one batch of VZen and if you burn one batch of YSL, it's not really based on what token you burn. It's based more on what batches and how many batches you've burned, regardless of which token. So it's kind of more of a total. That's how the calculation is. So it's the total batches, and the fairness is there. The only difference is that YSL is permissionless. The community created a liquidity pool for it, and some users want to obviously exit their position because they've been waiting for a few months.
Yeah.
So that's why we saw a price drop at that point. But the
I'm glad
code,
that you explained YSL though now. Like, I think honestly, there's been like a lot of confusion on what is the YSL token, but just from you giving us the breakdown of your history, I see that I think at least this is the crypto bros ideology on it. I see it as more of a venture token, something that was a try out of passion. That's kind of how I'm hearing it now. A whole passion project that you're bleeding into this newer project that happens to also have. And
yeah,
yeah, I mean, I was looking at that YSL token too, but what I did was I burned a bunch of different Zens from all around the network. So that was one reason why I was hyped about your guys' auction. And we'll talk about what XNF does, why we burn for XNF, right? But the reason why I was into the auction, I was just keeping my eye on it and doing the research and reading the white paper and trying to understand it, was just simply you guys are taking energy from other chains. Me and Tree City West were talking about this. You guys take energy from all different chains, and without us having to sell our Zen, we can actually just burn it into VZen. And now we're not fighting against the Zen price on all these other networks, right? Like up until Zenify, the Zenian, that's basically what we do. We have to sell the Zen into the native, and then you can move out of like Avalanche back to ETH, right? But now we have this thing called Zenify. It changed pretty much everything. It kind of upgraded it. Where now instead of selling your Zen, you can burn it directly into this portal. Goes to Arbitrum, right? It's like I've taken my value from Avalanche, from Moonbeam, from I also burned some base, some Polygon. I burned everything I possibly could burn, and now I've got that on Avalanche. I mean, not Avalanche, Arbitrum, and I actually am standing naked over there. Like I don't have much ETH or anything like that. I just moved in using Zen, and that is, in my opinion, mad powerful, man. Like no one has yet used that part of the Zen ecosystem that's just been dormant. The idea of merging worlds. I don't know if you
yeah,
guys were thinking about that perspective, or if you were just kind of were you just entering it like we're gonna make them
yeah.
burn their Zen.
That's how the name was.
No, no, yeah, it
To,
became,
to
we
Okay.
saw that,
unifying,
yeah.
yeah, unifying the chains. So it's like what I mentioned before, right? Unifying the communities, but at the same time unifying also the Zen communities, because Zen has separate communities, right, on different chains. Some
Yeah.
just stick with Avalanche, some just stick with Ethereum, but by having that, it kind of unifies all the chains, or most of the
Mhm.
chains into, like into a single chain, which is Arbitrum. But at the same time, like we're going to be deploying on the Binance Smart Chain this week. So
Yeah. Oh, this week. Okay.
yeah, so you can actually
I
bridge that
thought it was
VSIN.
3 months in between each release. Or are you guys just gonna start rolling them out if it's successful?
Right now, our focus is only on the main chains. So the focus is only on the chains that have over 1 billion TVL. So right now it's Binance. So we kind of are focusing only on Ethereum, Arbitrum, the Binance Smart Chain, and maybe Polygon. So those are the 4 chains at the
Maybe.
moment. Yeah, but
And
but
probably a
BNB,
big maybe.
yeah, the BNB chain is going to be something which is really different from what you see on Arbitrum. It'll be more of, you could say, an aggressive approach, more of a degen play, I would say.
Will
Because
all of Zenifys on each chain kind of have its own little, I guess you could say, heartbeat? Be a little
Yeah.
tweaked, a little different than the next chain?
Mm, I would say yes for BNB chain, but Ethereum, yes, also. Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
think
gonna be
we are always thinking of improvements and innovations, but of course the core is still the same. It's just things that we can see can help the community
yeah.
or, you know, add more utility as well.
And like when it comes to like an Ethereum and BNB, those are gonna burn Zen native to the blockchain, or are they gonna have some sort
It'll
of
be VZen.
VZen idea?
No, it'll be VZen. So
Okay,
that means you have VZen on Arbitrum. You can actually now bridge that VZen to the BNB chain, and now you can burn.
facts. And then the same thing. Well, then what about Ethereum? When we get to ETH, is it gonna be Zen or is it gonna be
No,
VZen?
it won't be VZen and it won't be YSL. So the way we're looking towards it is that it will be VXNF. Uh, so the way it kind
Okay.
of so the way what we're thinking is that those that are holding XNF on Arbitrum and holding BXNF on the Binance Smart Chain, they'll be able to burn it for VXNF, and then they can actually bridge that VXNF to Ethereum and actually take part in the burn auctions there and acquire
Damn,
the Ethereum version of XNF. Because the way
that's
I'm
awesome.
yeah, because I saw how it performed on, when people start burning their Zen, and it's actually doing 100% burn, but imagine it doing that on a supply that is really capped, right?
Yeah,
And scarce at the same time.
you're over here in the
And
lab, man.
yeah,
Zenify is half laboratory.
Yeah.
but the thing is, the BNB chain is going to be different, and I'll tell you why it's different from Arbitrum. So one part would be that first, the VZen burns will be way more attractive because YSL will have, for you to burn one batch, you would need one YSL. So there's only 140,000 YSL. So if someone burns 10,000 batches of YSL on the BNB chain, they would need 10,000 YSL. So that would in turn make VZen more attracting to a normal user to either burn into and take part in the burn auction, because it's far more, you could say, easier and cheaper. Another important thing that will be changing is that, as you know, on Arbitrum, right, we had it at the initial LP for XNF, it was 100,000, right? That was paired by the
Mhm.
protocol. So it took the ETH, 100% of the accrued ETH on day one, and it paired it with 100,000. And that's what made the price, I would say, around slightly below $1, right? And what we're thinking now is let's reduce that 100,000 to 20,000, and which basically means that whoever takes part on day one is going to be break even because
Mhm.
it's being paired with the same amount of tokens that's coming out, as long as you evenly distribute your tokens or your participation across the different auctions. You should maybe break even on the first day, but at the same time you'd basically be getting in really early into a token which could rise aggressively. Because imagine if the liquidity pool was only 20,000, right, on BNB chain on the first day, and then the second day you have another 20,000 that comes in because people are averaging out their investment each day, right, into the auction. That would aggressively increase the price far, far greater than what you see on Arbitrum.
Yeah, that's awesome though that you're doing it. Kind of, I'm gonna call BNB the home of YSL because that's where it seems like a lot of your roots are. So that it's awesome that you're gonna be tweaking for that specific chain because the way that I like, or what I like about Zen, right, that I'm seeing in this project right now is the vanilla of the actual protocol, and that's Arbitrum, right? It's like you if you're on Arbitrum, you're in the most vanilla state of XNF, and you can learn about the whole protocol, about every in and out of it, and not risk too much network loss. And you can, and then on top of that, it feels like it's built to last, right?
Yeah.
The auction's literally 200 years.
But the thing is, yeah, but the thing is, a lot of people need to understand, right? It's more
Mhm.
of like the way we built Zenify and the XNF token is that we looked at the lobbies, right? And how auction lobbies kind of work. And usually you give out 100% of the ETH to stakers, right? So everyone chases the ETH. Everyone is chasing the native because 100% is given out. But at that point, no one is really looking at the underlying token. No one is looking at, okay, what is this token that I'm receiving in return? But because no one cares at that time when it launches. People are more after, okay, how much ETH I'm going to make, right? And then
Yep.
eventually, once everyone's in, now everyone's like, okay, I've already put my ETH. Now you see that ETH rewards dropping down because the participation is dropping as time goes on. Okay. And the reason why that participation is dropping is because most people are seeing that, okay, there's not enough ETH that's flowing in now. And they start looking towards, okay, what is this token that I've received? Does it have value for me to continue participating? And that's when people are like, okay, I'm out, right? And then they
Yep.
start selling the token, and then the liquidity providers that actually provide the liquidity are like, okay, I'm not going to hold liquidity for this. This token is just going down now, right? Because
Yep.
everyone wants to add liquidity as the price is going up.
The cascade happens.
Yeah,
One after the other.
and that's when you get the participation going down, you get the lobbies drying up, and no one's really participating anymore. So the way we're seeing it is that we're focusing on two key things: one, price, and two, liquidity, and three, scarcity. And I think in this way, and at the same time, we give out ETHs. The yields are maybe not 100%, but it's still 25%. And 25% is given out instantly at the end of every cycle based on your VE XNF power. So the more power you have, the more share of that you get. And
Yeah,
imagine
you know what's funny about because like it's what I'm loving is that you're really packing a lot of emphasis on XNF and VX or VEXNF, and that's what I was when I was reading the white paper on my live couple like a week ago. I was coming to the conclusion because what we were trying to do was we were trying to figure out like what is the whole percentage of the pie and how much does the devs get, right? But it's like every time you would try to do that diagnosis of like, well, how much does the devs get? You would run into this idea where the pool is getting more than anybody. So the pool is constantly getting more ETH than everybody, which is helping the token. And I'm loving that you're explaining this right now, that you've put so much emphasis on making XNF successful that it's feeding itself. It's literally it's like a dog that is got a mansion and it's feeding itself and doing everything itself inside of your home. Like it's just because even today, like the price is still going north. I'm happy with my entry today. Here, let me pull up the Zenify. I have the site right here. Let me share the screen real quick. Because I love how you're explaining it. Can you guys see my screen? Let me see the screenshot. Oh, no, not yet. Here we go.
Yeah,
All
now
right,
we
so
can.
awesome. So now I'm here. So like right now, like the XNF token is at $1.73, and it's just been going up and up and up. But what I'm under the impression of is when people are making swaps on the site, there's like a portion going to buy this token. Is that right?
only from Arbitrum or within Arbitrum. So if you do a swap
Yeah,
within
in the
Arbitrum,
Arbitrum
yeah,
mainframe.
If
Okay.
you'll be actually prompted whether you want to earn XNF or you want it to earn for free. That means you want to do the swap without any fee attached to it. So it's kind of up to you if you want to earn XNF. I mean, it's good to earn XNF because XNF is the appreciating asset. There's not many
Mhm.
swap providers that actually say, okay, if you perform the swap, you pay a 0.5% fee, you're going to get a token back, which is VEXNF, right? That can actually earn you ETH every day, you know? So it's
Yeah. I
like,
mean, and that's why it's crazy to think that like or how do I say this? A lot of people's strategy right now is to get more X and F. And they're like, okay, all I need to do is keep compounding. And they're looking for like those little ways. And this is why I was saying, man, this token is built to eat itself because wherever the user goes to participate and get an XNF, the Ethereum that they're using towards that like entry, wherever they are swapping, getting into the lobby down here, you're using ETH that's going to go back into a pool that's actually going to push the price of this token. It's a lot different than like that's why I like a lot of things give you back the ETH, and then that's why it gets a little offset because there's someone who's always going to come with too much ETH and throw off everybody that's like a small person, right? And then none of the ETH gets trapped anywhere.
yeah,
None of it. It just fucking evaporates. But in this particular situation, 70% of like this auction ETH is
yeah,
going directly into the XNF token.
yeah.
So um and
And
yeah, like
that attracts more people to participate. Because think of it this way,
mhm,
right? There's a fair value. Now the protocol is giving out tokens that are almost worth more than 20,000 a day. Like
yeah.
nearly, yeah. So it's coming to
And what
close to
else is really
40,000 at this point.
so I know it's crazy because I think we're really, really early. By the way, I love these gauges. Makes me feel like I'm in a Ferrari. But
But
No,
by the
wait.
way, we updated them. You could also, yeah, I was gonna say because now is way better how
Yeah,
it's
oh,
represented.
yeah, there's a few
Hmm.
things we're improving. So the UI is going to be updated. I'm not sure whether Jingli actually pushed it, but we are
save it for
going,
Christmas.
yeah, we're going to make it like where you can actually see also like your history of every cycle. Like, okay, on cycle 1 at this date, I invested this
Mhm.
much, I got this much back. So, like you can actually visually see that. We also have the burn analytics page so that you can see the overall view of like how much burning and etc.
Do you
Uh,
guys have like a burn leaderboard of like blockchains from the 10 that you allowed to burn?
yeah, we'll have
Or
that
like you
added.
are you collecting
Yeah,
that data?
Yeah. Hmm.
Awesome. That's actually really awesome. You're gonna start a war between chains who's gonna burn the most for Zenify.
yeah,
Because I'm a fan of this V Zen, bro. My philosophy on this, just being in Zen for so long, is I feel like again, it's porting my economical energy over here. So for me, I'm not saying it's an investment, but if I had to put a number on it, I'm looking at it as much that burned at the time of the burn, right?
yeah,
And I think this is amazing for Zenians because what we have is a representation of like our culture or our legacy. I mean, it's
correct.
unofficial, but it's like the community. Again, this is all community driven. The community is what makes it official. And
Yeah.
what's really really cool about this VZen is I see here it's already burned over 43 billion VZen.
How much
So
how much XNF has been burnt so far? I haven't checked.
um, it's saying here uh 33,000.
Okay, so 30% of the LP has been burnt till now. Because we added 100,000, right? So if
Mm-hmm.
you can see, every time that the protocol does a buyback and burn, so right now 30% has been burnt, right? If that increases, the price increases faster because there's less XNF in the pool, basically. That's why if you look at the testnet, the price of the testnet went up all the way to $200 when it started at $1. And that was only based on 1,000, less than 2,000 ETH that went into it.
That's crazy. You see, this is why I'm trying not to shill too hard right now because the lobby's about to end, and I don't want people to jump in because I burned one batch and I'm gonna get 7 right? But this is my little like secret right now to myself and to those that follow the Bruh channel. But like that's what I'm afraid of, bro. I'm afraid of this thing getting a lot of attention and then I can't get no damn XNF out of the lobby. Like right now what's cool is there's only 3 ETH. I mean, yeah, if you're like this is the cool part, right? Usually people will be crying, oh my god, there's not a bunch of ETH, everybody's poor, right? But in this scenario, it's like, oh awesome, there's time to accumulate XNF because it's extremely hard to buy it from the DEX. Why is it so hard to buy from the DEX?
Yeah, so you can't. That's the thing. The way it works is the way we kind of designed it is that the community itself has to create a secondary liquidity pool, and then from that liquidity pool is where you can freely buy and sell XNF. The protocol owned liquidity controls the 1% fee tier pool, which means only itself can buy from the pool and burn. No one else can purchase from it. They only can sell into it. And even the selling can't be done through Uniswap. It has to be done either through Zenify, right? Because obviously we connect directly to the contract, and the contract itself, which is the recycling contract. Only there's 2 methods to selling, and only that basically means the recycling contract is the only one that can actually sell into the pool.
So when like for instance, I'm gonna share this tab real quick. Like this right here, this is XNF on Dex Screener. I get a lot of confused questions because people are trying to buy this token, right? And they're like, yo, what the fuck? I need it. And this is the first place they go. So basically when people go to this Dex Screener and they hit trade on Uniswap, this is why you can't, because you got to go to Zenify, and we go back to this tab, and then through the swap zone, which is right up here on their Navi, this is where you're gonna want to exit. But if you do that, you're gonna burn your XNF.
You won't. Yeah, eventually it will be burnt. So what actually happens is that the XNF remains in the pool, yes, but then there's a 70% buy and burn, right? And then even when you recycle your ETH, you're actually amplifying that burn, because the way we've designed it is that in the first hour, you get back the claim fees throughout the cycle. So if someone claims ETH, right? I put it in an example, right? Say someone invested 100,000, right? And you invested, let's just say 1,000, okay? But the guy made 100,000, let's say, in ETH, and now he decides to claim it, right? 25,000 would be just distributed to you if you choose to recycle your ETH in that first hour. So in the end of the cycle, you would get that 25,000. So you would have 25x your investment just because a whale claimed out in that cycle, and you recycled in the first hour. And what actually happens is the process of recycling is that your ETH basically puts you back into the burn auctions without needing to burn any tokens. So in the end of the cycle, you would get back more ETH, and you will get back XNF tokens. And by you doing it in the first hour, the protocol benefits from the discount, because there's a discount, right, of 50% in the first hour.
Yeah, that's like that's how I've been playing it. Yesterday, or I missed day 2 because I did not get the discount, and I was like, you know what, that discount's too nice. I gotta wait. I'll skip a day.
The thing is, the discount runs for an hour. So the problem is many people think the discount kind of goes down at like every second. It doesn't work like that. The discount is based on the hour intervals. So every hour it would go down till the next new cycle. So everyone still has an hour to get to get that 50% if they choose to.
The biggest discount, because the
Yeah.
next hour you still, of course, get the discount, just not that juicy.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna play, I say play the juiciest way possible. Have that amazing smoothie at the end of the round.
So
And
yeah. So that's where the discount, the protocol, whenever you recycle in the first hour, the protocol is gaining that 50%. And what it does is 90% of that actually goes towards buying and burning XNF tokens. So that's why I say by you recycling, not only are you amplifying the buying and burning because of the burn fee, but you're also doing it on the discounted amount, which is what the protocol receives by you recycling in the first hour. So the amount of buyback and burn is actually greater than 70% when a user recycles.
I finally got this to pop up. It was like stalling on me, so I had to refresh it. But just to re-go over this, if you're trying to exit on your XNF, that's why you can't. You got to do it from their swap page, where you'll
Yeah.
see it right here within the tokens. But what we're talking about right now, just to give a visual, is we're talking about right here in this auction. Like, let's say I were to put one here, it's going to tell me that I'm paying, but usually there's like a discount up here. But I think what it is that we just hit 5 my time, or I guess
Yes, it's almost. If you see the time there, there's 28 minutes until,
yeah.
yeah.
So there ain't no discount no more. That's what that is. If you don't see a discount, there is not one anymore. But I've seen it there. You'll see it right next to the auction here. It'll say 50% discount. Yeah, that's what's really dope though. Like if XNF becomes a desired token and people are trying to get into this lobby to get that token for, something on the other side that I like to say, which is they're trying to basically ROI on a day's worth of work. I mean, that's what the goal should be, at least in my opinion, for an auction is people desire it now that there's less available. More people are showing up with more ETH and less care for discounts and things like that. Like they're just
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to participate. And
Yes,
that's what I
yes.
really like about this. Like it allows you to participate if you're on time, and then it kind of gives you that, hey man, you're showing up 28 minutes before the next distribution, like no discount for you.
The thing is, you have to look at it. What will the price of XNF be in the next year? That's how I view it. Given that there's 70% buybacks, there's going to be a ton of liquidity. The value will always retain by the protocol itself. So
Yeah,
and
I mean,
at the
you also
same
have
time, what ETH? Yeah, I can
like
see that. Yeah, like if you put in, let's say, $1,000, right? And
mhm.
people are coming in after, right? Trying to, chase the price, the liquidity, right? Even with the 25% instant rewards, you'll probably receive your initial investment in ETH back within 10 days or less. So that's how I'm kind of viewing it. We're not like other projects where they paid out in buckets. Like after 1 month, okay, we're gonna give you like 8% back, or like
Mhm.
we're not doing like a slower approach. We're saying, okay, at the end of every cycle, 25% is distributed. That's it. So that's why
That's
you
fire.
could, yeah, ROI faster.
That's a real degen in inside of you being like, nah, there has to be at least 25% a day. Which is, I mean, and that's why I say this is a good vanilla version. Now, if you wanted to get wacky with it, I mean, like, look at the way that Zen works, right? Like when it came out on Arbitrum, my bad, Optimism, it finally got some sort of spin, right? And that's why I enjoy vanilla protocols that have a lot of thought based on the success of something. And in this case, it sounds like it's XNF. Like that is the successor of everything, and why these auctions work, why people are brute forcing Zen from base to Arbitrum to burn for this token. And I mean, I'm glad that we ran down kind of the ins and outs of everything, so that you know, I mean, for me, it makes a lot of sense. I hope whoever's watching this, I hope you got a little bit more insight, and now it's starting to get a little bit more clear to you. Um, my like, maybe we'll answer some questions from the chat. There's some questions there, but I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time. I know it's a little early on your side of town, and what I want to know is where do you see Zenify, or where do you want Zenify to be in the next year? Or if anything, shit, the next 2 years, since we know we're going to be here for a year with our VE. So where's your vision with this? Is this something that is just spawning for a passion, or is this something you see putting yourself forward through for like the next couple of years?
I would say we probably will be building on top of
Mhm.
Zenify, XNF. At the same time, we'll be marketing it out, going to conferences, spreading the word out there about, the aggregation. Because our aggregator is an amazing tool for anyone that wants to swap. And if we could have that yield or a swap fee where you could just, pay a small fee and actually start earning ETH on that, is something that's not out there at the moment with any aggregator. So
You guys are definitely first to the scene on that. Most drop the coin, but they're not. Like I said, this is very integrated in how the participation is placed on the site, whether it be the auction, whether it be someone swapping. This XNF token is literally the core. And yeah, as a Zenian, I'm just happy that you guys use the name, or like, you guys Zen in your name. And then on top of that, you're using the Zen token, even though it's not Zen, but it's born from Zen. You are using something within our ecosystem to, prolong participation from both sides of the party. Shout outs YSL, yield, staking, and lending. Is that what it stands for again?
And
Did I remember
liquidity,
that?
yeah.
Oh, liquidity. Damn
Yeah.
it. We were close.
Almost,
Yielding
yeah.
stake. What does the V stand for in VZen?
It's more of like a virtual version, so like how we saw it basically. Because we knew that one, there was no V in Zen on the different chains, like because we had all OP Zen and B Zen, so we thought maybe let's change this into more of like a universal type of Zen,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, any project can really tap into it. The contract is open source, permissionless, immutable. Anyone can basically utilize the contract to form different, projects on top if you want to attract users in that way, similar to Zen. But this way you can attract all chains. So.
It's a pretty powerful one, and I hope it inspires some more innovation amongst other developers in the community, because I think it's very. I mean, it might seem nonchalant to you guys because you've been dealing with liquidity and interoperability. It's probably like an extra arm for your experience at this point. But for someone who's not really versed in that idea, it's much, how do you say, it's like harder for them to grasp it all. And seeing VZen, hopefully I hope that sparks what we saw, right? I mean, we're seeing like a, how do you say this right now, very eye to eye on Zen and how it's used to expand any idea you have. And like I said, you nonchalantly launched Zen on Arbitrum, and it's there for us to use, right? It's not like Jack Levin did it. And I mean, I hope you can, take some pride in that innovation. No one's done it yet in our ecosystem. And the way that VZen has rolled out, it's probably the best version of the idea. Especially when you guys drop the burn records. I think that's also going to be pretty impactful to other developers when they see how much Zen you guys got in, because you guys didn't even take in that Zen with a fee on top, right? Like it can get pretty nasty. Not nasty, but there's a lot of opportunity for people to see what you guys just did and see the other opportunity that can bring.
The way we did it was we knew that we didn't charge a fee for that. It's because we wanted other developers to kind of utilize it, right? So it's kind of like it's the Zen community it's basically it's the lowest barrier to entry, I would say, where you just
Mm.
burn your Zen into VZen and you get added to the burn record. As simple as
Yeah, you
that.
get the
And
XN.
if there's a ton of projects that offer or accept VZen in the future, then it's going to be a great way for newer projects to tap into different chains, and
Yeah. What
have
we need
that.
is we need like a DBZen or Phoenix to dev on top of the VZen for fun skis. It doesn't have to be serious. We'll do it for fun.
Yeah. But the thing is, we'll see like how it would be, because I think Zen burns it'll be probably a lot more for the Binance Smart Chain version, because there's more reason for you to burn your VZen than it is to be, than your YSL. So
Yeah, I
we'll
mean, but that's what I mean. If we get really deep in the VZen talk, I honestly think, bro, after my little bit of research, I am very bullish on that token because the thing about Zen is it's an abundance, and once you get a compounded version of the abundance, it's like it's that compounded version is always going to be fighting the abundance, and the abundance is fighting X1 chain. So like if
yeah,
X1 chain were to dice everything up, now VZen is over there on Arbitrum, and it's like it's gonna be hard to make it because there's not gonna be a lot of Zen available to create it, and then it automatically caps itself. That's why I'm like, bro,
yeah,
that's an amazing accident that is powering your robust system. Like there's like an accident within the robust innovation of XENIFY. And yeah, I hope we get some builders that build on top of it. But at the same time, I think as a Zenian, it's a nice play for any dust around the universe that you just got hanging around, Zen
yeah.
dust, and you could just
There's
bring it
also
over, and then now you get X and F. And then what my strategy was you get your dust together, you burn one batch, you start your VE Zen in the beginning, or your V X and F in the beginning, and then you just keep rolling. And now you've turned your dust from Eve Moss Zen into something because of Zenify. So
there,
I don't know if you guys are envisioning it that way, but that's kind of how I'm seeing the tool.
yeah. I think over time, as more holders come in, so that's the thing, like we've built every contract, even including YSL token contract, is based on the first principles, which means no admin keys, no upgradability, trustless. Anyone can, do what they want, right, with the token, which is what it should be. And I think, a lot of people say, okay, there's a lot of, because I think prior to this, we have around 500 people, right, that hold YSL. And eventually Zenians will grow into, YSL as the holder count increases, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's thousands of holders of that token. And at the same time, the same would be applied to VZen. As more holders of VZen come in, then people will start creating liquidity pools that pair it with Zen, right? And then if we have that across all chains, then it opens up the possibility to perform cross-chain swaps
Yeah.
at a faster and more efficient way, where you could burn from one side, mint on the other side, swap, and then take out Ethereum Zen, making deeper liquidity across the chains.
Wild. That's
Yeah,
that right there. That's what I hope can be accomplished. Your system is
yeah,
so robust that it seems closer than it not being something that's possible. And again, your experience, I hope that this all comes together for you, because with the amount of experience you have in these aggregators and these liquidity pools, I think you might have found your energy source. And I really can't wait to watch it all play out in the next year or so. But
yeah,
we've run up on an hour. I have
yeah.
one question that's coming from the chat. I got to shout out Crypto Craig, or Craig Crypto, because she's always here. What's up? What's up? She says, "Will X and F ever be used to pay for transactions or swaps?"
I would say at the moment, no. But there will be other projects that might, because we did add the burn record to the XNF token. So whenever, the user burns it, it gets, or, their address gets added to it. But I would say the token itself, it will be, scarce, and I think the Ethereum by itself would be used, right? So if you pay the fee, 70% is already being used to buy and burn it, the XNF tokens. So
Okay, yeah. So it's a
yeah,
little,
so
that
it's
one's a
kind
little bit more complex. Yeah, that was a little bit more complex.
if you pay the fee in XNF, you're burning 100%, right? But this way, if you pay the fee, you're burning 70%, but you're giving out a reward at the same time of 25.
Yeah. So I feel you. That's why it's like XNF is really designed for locking.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be so scarce. You don't want to think of it as something you're gonna spend or something you want to trade for like another boot. You want to think of it as something that you're gonna put in a storage locker and kick it to the bottom of the ocean and maybe visit it when you power it up.
Yeah, because if you think about it, the VEXNF that you get could be valued at a greater amount, right? At the end of your lock term. That means if you choose not to extend it, there's actually a lot of game theory even on the locking aspect. So
Yeah,
there's
we'll
one.
have to dive in on that one. Like what I wanted to do on this stream was I wanted the community to maybe get a little bit more of
Okay,
of an
vibe.
insight of how you guys are driving the boat and how you got to having this new boat. And then maybe we can do another stream sometime this week
Yeah, absolutely.
and dive in on the game theory and start really picking it apart.
Just one more thing. For those that are earning,
Mhm.
Earning their ETH, remember that you have to extend your locks because your earning power goes down every day. I'm not sure whether people might understand that part, that you need to at least, if you want to retain your lock and retain that earning power, you have to extend it. If not,
Yeah, you're talking about this right here.
Yeah, remember,
I have a little bit of earning power.
because we made it in a way to incentivize active participation. So it's not like you set and forget, right? You have to come back actively to extend it, because the longer you lock, remember, the more power you have, and therefore the more ETH rewards you're entitled to, and you'll probably gain.
Here's a question I have real quick, I guess. When I've made this one, right? I have one and I need to boost it up at some point. Right now, I mean, the power seems that it's not draining that fast. So it looks like you get like 4 to 5 days to get back to like 100 from like, it gets like maybe down to 90 or something like that. It looks like it maybe do. I don't know. We're not there yet. But when I do want to extend it, is it going to give me an expiration date based on that day that I have to increase my power? So I'm always pushing my XNF, my VXNF further away from me every time I want to increase the power of that specific state.
So you're always retaining a year ahead, basically, every time you extend. There's a lot of game theory.
So there could be,
because if you,
I was gonna say there is a game theory idea where if you don't want to chase the idea of keeping your rewards up, you could essentially just stake over and over and over and over and over and over again, like every single day, and just like let these dwell out and things like that. Like if you want to play the super relaxed game,
within 2 months, within 2 months of your lock, if you do not extend it, it goes down to 0. So then you would have to wait 10 months not earning anything till you can actually release your XNF.
Hey man, there's some crazy people in crypto that'd be like, I just want to get the value at the end of the road.
But
they just want to expire.
Yeah. So that's why those that are actively locking get the most, right? So that's why they're taking the more of a risk so that they get more of the more share of the ETH. In other words,
it's what we said, right? You can do that, sure, but those who extend and come back get the most.
Yeah. I mean, longer is going to pay better. I know that's why I think a lot of like in the Zen community, people are kind of caught up on the idea of like, how am I using this XNF token and why do I want to keep extending it out? And it's good that like we're breaking it down that like, yeah, you could essentially just make tiny stakes always blah. but it's really built on proof of participation, and that's what's going to help the whole project. In my, like, that's what you really want to understand. Why do they want us to participate in XNF? Every time we roll and recycle, it's feeding that price, and it's helping it go up without anybody pumping it. It's literally participation pumping the token. And that's crazy, man. Like, usually somebody's got to press the button and, you know, send it to the sky.
Yeah. No, usually it's reliance on liquidity providers and such. We wanted it in a way where in 2 years, what could the price be? What could be the liquidity at that time? Given the scarcity from burning into, you know, VXNF, the scarcity of users not being able to purchase from the protocol own liquidity, and whenever you sell, you only sell once. Those tokens can never go back in circulation. So all these scarcity components will eventually be noticed over time. You know, when the overall DeFi community start realizing like how the actual tokenomics does play out, it will explode at that point.
By that time, I hope I'm gonna. We'll see it though. For anybody who's seasoned, when you start losing out on the lobby, you know it's boiling. The pot is getting way too hot, and that's why, at least for me, I like to be early on things.
Yeah.
I was like, and again, I didn't talk about XENIFY a bunch because I believe in the hands-on theory that if I could just, once it came out, if it worked, my mouse clicked things, I was able to comprehend, ask questions, and diagnose my bugs. I feel like that is actually the best platform. And again, I mean, we've been beta testing it for quite a while now, but we didn't do this auction as a beta unless you did the test net, which then I stayed away. So I applaud you guys. I think your launch was amazing. I think it's running super duper smooth, and I'm super happy that you're in our ecosystem, and we'll see where this goes from here. But any last statements here? I'm gonna wrap up the stream with that and everything.
I would just say be ready for BNB chain. It's gonna be
and Ethereum.
Yeah, and Ethereum, but BNB chain will be really, really good
This week.
Really amazing. Just think of it 5 to 10 times more powerful in price appreciation than Arbitrum.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to hold on to my pants.
More of a degen.
Rolando, he loves XENIFY project. Shout outs Rolando. He said he's in love with you guys. Big heart. But yeah, thanks again, Simran and Day, for showing up on the stream today. We're gonna have to pick up another time and dive in on the game theory of XNF,
for sure.
So that we can get everybody on board. I'm sorry, I would love to do it right now, but I want to keep that mysteriousness for those that have caught on. I feel like people who watch the Crypto Bro channel are super duper studious in crypto. So like, if we give them even more information, I'm gonna have too much competition. So we got to make sure we keep it at a minimum. But we'll jump on a call like hopefully like maybe sometime next week or later this week, and we'll chat some more game theory.
For sure. Amazing to be here.
Cool,
Thank
guys.
you for the invite as well.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
No worries. Yeah, thanks for making the time, and you guys enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Same for everybody in the chat.
Same for everybody in the chat. And orale for, for Rolando. Spanish speaking over here, eh?
Yeah. Shout out to the Zinians, man.
Bye.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Peace.
Peace.